Well, aloha, everybody. Are you tired yet? I am. Yeah. I'm burnt out on all this mess. Bang, bang, shoot 'em up, bang, bang. Nobody even knows half the time why these guys even do this stuff. You know, we talk about the Kansas City shooting, after the Super Bowl. Somebody's got to run around with a gun and start popping people. Boy, I don't know. Sometimes it's hard. The expression was, sometimes you just don't know whether to crap or go blind, and that's one of these cases here in the U.S. We've got this right to own and bear and form militias and blah, 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 and, we're all used to running around and blasting buffaloes and stuff, right? Yeah, it's the American way. If it flies, it dies. Now, I personally have owned firearms with parent supervision since I was 11 years old. All right. And I was trained properly to use them, and firearms has never been a problem in my life. And they've never been a problem for anybody else in my life either. Unless you happen to be, a 12-point buck or a partridge. Or maybe a trespasser, maybe, on occasion. But, yeah, usually just, something that I was thinking about eating. It's about the only thing that ever had to fear my gun. And so, if this is nuts, but if everybody thought like me, right, if they all had the same attitude about our firearms, we wouldn't be having this problem. And we certainly wouldn't be talking about taking guns away or, violating our rights. Why? Because people would know what the guns were for. Yeah. We don't walk around the street showing them off, acting tough and being an idiot, but, it's worse than that because, if I can trust the statistic I heard this morning in the news, they said 45 days this year and 49 mass shootings. We're doing pretty good, huh? Now, what do you suspect is causing all of that? And I'm sure all kinds of people got all kinds of answers for it, but I got mine too. Now, nobody is supposed to listen to me, and nobody should really believe that I know one thing or another about anything, all right? Honestly, you're all fools if you believe anything I have to say in this day and age. But truth is, first week when COVID started to move into the United States and it was spreading, and it actually had been spreading for a while and we didn't know it, first week, I had my usual intuitive hunch, and I looked at it and I said, this virus makes people crazy like rabies. Okay. Now, I'm sure most of us never think about virus and mind control, but yet in nature this is very common. The rabies virus, which humans can get, it makes animals aggressive and wishing to bite because it concentrates in the saliva, and so to spread itself, it makes the animals angry, so they want to bite everything and spread the virus. Even our common flu. Now, here's one that most of us don't know. Okay, I only found it because of my research, and that is that it is a known medical fact that when people begin to contract our common flu strains that we vaccinate for every year, the initial 24-hour infection makes people feel outgoing and sociable. They want to go out and they want to meet with their friends, go to the bar, blah, blah, do this. Why? Again, the virus controlling the human mind in order to be able to use the human body as a vehicle to reproduce itself. Now, this is real. Most of you probably don't know it. Look it up. Don't believe me. Don't believe a thing I have to say. You're crazy if you do. without checking it out first. Because I'm sure plenty of the things I have to say, they sound pretty crazy, depending on who you are and what point of view you have on life. But, yeah. So, when this COVID thing started spreading into the country, and the country went up in arms, it was a race war, cops were shooting people, and there were riots left and right across the streets everywhere, and I looked at it and I said, this kind of happened overnight. These people ain't thinking straight. Well, my people that I know, my relatives, my friends, or they tell me, oh, Bill, they don't like the mask mandate. They think they're being oppressed. That's all. They're just angry, And I'm going, no, guys, it's way worse than that. Obviously, these people who react this way had a serious anger management problem to begin with. But the virus, when I investigated, I started at the University of Taiwan, medical school there. I moved into Germany and into England because that was the way the virus had spread across the planet, starting in China and Asia and then, heading west. Well, I found that there was quite a bit of research to do with the fact that the virus would cause, in some cases, brain damage, lesions in the brain and things like this. But it would also, in many cases, in the long haul, would cause anxiety, depression, PTSD. This, I believe, is what's at the basis of, the nuttiness in our government. Conservatives in the government contracted the virus at much higher levels than the liberals did in our government because of the leadership of Donald Trump, who said we should inject bleach, and that this was all some kind of scam and whatever, all right, that the masks were a violation of our personal rights and all this. And so they contracted it at a high rate. Well, if you look in Congress right now, you'll find out that they're nuts. They can't get anything done. They can't get anything done. Now, it's not unusual. Congress has gone through this, but I've never seen it in such a nutty way, okay? Attempting to, they're removing one House Speaker after another because they don't like the looks of his face, and on and on. I mean, it's just totally crazy. And you got 49 mass shootings in the first 45 days of the year. You think people feeling pretty good? I got a feeling they got over being angry about the masks. You can't get on an airplane anymore without having somebody get up and start punching some other dude out, okay? Every time you get these guys trapped in little vessels like that, somebody goes, boom, and blows up, all right? This didn't happen to this extent before COVID. Now, I got another problem. It spread across the whole planet, not just the United States of America. Yeah, if it was just us, well, we've always been nuts anyway, California's a fruit and nut basket of the USA, right? Well, it's everywhere. It affected everyone. And if I don't have to worry about being correct anymore because the evidence is right there. The gut brain gets damaged by this. The dopamine producing bacteria don't work right anymore, and the gut brain is your happy brain, and that's what really causes your more desirable, happy state of mind. And well, it gets dinged, and so everybody's unhappy. And as I said, it ain't just my imagination, because it's medically documented internationally, and I experienced it for myself, man. I had about 3 shots prior to actually contracting it, so I didn't end up in the hospital. But man, I just flipped between wanting to die and wanting to kill, wanting to die, wanting to kill. It messed with my brain bad, and I'm still not back. That's my energy level is low, and my energy being low makes me blue. I feel sad. And I don't know whether, one comes before the other, that I'm lacking energy, and so that makes me sad, or if I'm sad because I'm lacking energy. I don't know. It all kind of goes together. But yeah, I haven't felt right ever since. And, well, I'm not the kind of guy who, when I don't feel right, is going to pick up a gun and go walking out into a crowd and start shooting people. But there are a lot of people who are not so well stitched together to begin with. Anyway, like I said, I wouldn't know whether to crap or go blind when it comes to this. Wouldn't know what to do about it. If anybody happens to have noticed, there is much, much more advertising, about depression in adolescence, and about asking your friends if they're feeling okay. There's someone out there in medicine, in psychological medicine, they know. They know, but it's not common knowledge, and it's not being spoke of, that the virus drives people mad. Don't know how we fix it. Have we got any ideas? At least. Are you tired of it yet? Have you had it with all the mass shootings? Is this the way we want to live? Is this the United States that we want to live in? Where if you go to a football game, you're going to get a bullet in your head? No, this is not the kind of country that I was raised in, that we respect each other. I had some leadership in that respect was not a word that they knew how to spell or define. And so they started this whole thing about disrespecting. Then we got a virus on top of it, and now then we already had plenty of crazies in the streets, but check it out. Take a look at the 49 mass shootings, okay? In almost every case, you aren't even going to be able to find a sicko reason why, the Jews, it's the Jews. And you get some guy who's a paranoid, and he figures the Jews are causing all the problems in the world, so he's going to go into a synagogue and shoot. Well, at least that nut job thinks he knows what's going on and why he's doing it. Now, he's crazy. Okay, but there's a reason. You can put it together and you go, oh, he's a paranoid and he thinks the Jews are out to get him. Oh, I get it. But in a lot of these shootings, nobody even knows. The guys who do the shootings don't know. Nobody can figure out why they do it. Yeah, they just go, start shooting. Shoot something, I don't know. And they, boom, shoot themselves too. Obviously they were deranged and looking for a way out. I don't know, maybe they figure if they shoot enough people, the cops are going to shoot them. They don't have to do it themselves. I mean, this is a real truth. If you plan to use a gun to be able to commit suicide, think about this one. It takes a little bit of skill, not only to keep them well oiled and clean so that they're operational. You have to know how to load one. And then, if I was to take a 9mm and point it up against the side of my head, there's a pretty good chance I'd probably just blow my ear off and have to live that way the rest of my life. Basically, the day you decide that you need to off yourself and you decide you're going to do it with a gun, you better take a thought about the fact that you're really not thinking straight when you're doing that, and you should never handle a firearm when you're in that state of mind. Put the gun away and wait till you're all together again before you blow your brains out. Yeah, wait till you feel better. Hang loose. Aloha. Are we tired yet?